Good morning, students. Welcome back to biology class. In the previous class, I hope you remember what did we discuss? We discussed about reproductive health. We discussed about the problems which society faces, and we also discussed about how to develop a reproductively healthy society. How can we create awareness among the people to develop a reproductively healthy society? Then the later part of the last class, we also discussed about what is population explosion, isn't it? We also discussed about the reasons why there is an increase in population, right? The main reason is decline in death rate, decline in maternal mortality rate, decline in infant mortality rate, then increase in the number of people in the marriageable age group or the reproductive age group, and so on. Okay, so now if the population goes on increasing like this, it is not good for the society. Now, in order to control this human population, we have to follow certain steps. So the government of India just encourages the married couple to use certain methods or devices in order to reduce, in order to plan their family, in order to reduce the size of their family. Okay, so now today in today's class, let us discuss about contraceptives. What is that? Contraceptives. Now for that, first we should know what is contraception. So what is conception? Conception is the process of conceiving or becoming pregnant. When does a lady become pregnant? When the ovum and the sperm fuse together, or when fertilization occurs, right? That is conception. So what will be the definition for contraception? Contraception means it is to get rid of unwanted pregnancies, or avoiding the ovum and the sperm to fuse, or avoid fertilization. That is called as contraception. Okay, so two terms you have to remember. One is conception and the other one is contraception. So conception is the process of conceiving or becoming pregnant, and contraception is avoiding pregnancy. Okay, now let us discuss some of the contraceptives. So, contraceptives are nothing but the devices or methods which are used to prevent unwanted pregnancies. So, what are contraceptives? Contraceptives are the methods or the devices which are used to prevent unwanted pregnancies. Hope it's clear? Right. Now, what should be the features? What are the features of an ideal contraceptive? You have to study this answer because it's very important from examination point of view. What are contraceptives? Contraceptives are the methods or the devices which are used to prevent unwanted pregnancies. Now, what are the features of an ideal contraceptive? The first feature, a contraceptive must be user-friendly. It should be user-friendly. It should be easy to use. Okay. Second one, it should be easily available. First one, user-friendly. Second one, easily available. Third one, it must be effective. When you use a contraceptive, it must be effective. The fourth one, it must be reversible. Means whenever we want, we can conceive. Fifth one, it should not have any side effects. And last one, it should in no way interfere with the sexual act or the desire. So hope you understood. So what are the features of an ideal contraceptive? An ideal contraceptive must be user friendly. It should be friendly to use. Means the user should not have any problem. Second one, it should be easily available. Third one, it should be effective. When you are using that, then you should not get pregnant, right? Then it should be reversible. Then it should not have any side effects, and it should in no way interfere with the sexual act or the sexual desire of the user. So these are some of the features of an ideal contraceptive. Hope it's clear. Okay, now let's see the different types of contraceptives. There are 7 different types of contraceptives. The first one is the natural or traditional method. First one, natural or traditional method. Second one is barrier methods. Third one is intrauterine devices. What is that? Intrauterine devices. The short form is IUD. The fourth one, oral contraceptives, means pills or the tablets which we take. Oral contraceptives. Fifth one, implants. Then sixth one, injectables. Seventh one, surgical methods. So these are the 7 different types of contraceptive methods. The first one is natural or traditional methods. Second one, barrier methods. Third one, intrauterine devices. Fourth one, oral contraceptives. Fifth one, implants. Sixth one, injectables. Seventh one, surgical methods. So these are some of the contraceptive methods. In today's class, let us discuss the first 2 methods. The first one is natural or traditional method. Now in natural, from the word itself, it's very clear, and the traditional. So in this method, we do not use any devices. It is a method which is followed from long time. Okay, so the natural methods, it works on a principle. What is the principle? Avoid meeting of ovum and the sperm. Avoid physical meeting of ovum and the sperm. So that is natural method or traditional method. Now under natural method itself, there are, so once again, let us see which are the different methods. First one, natural or traditional method. Second one, barrier methods. Third one, intrauterine devices. Fourth one, oral contraceptives. Fifth one, implants. Sixth one, injectables. And seventh one, surgical methods. Now we will discuss only about the first 2 methods. So first let us discuss about the first method. Which is the first method? Natural or traditional method. In that again, there are 3 different types. The first one, that is periodic abstinence. What is that? Periodic abstinence. Second one, withdrawal or coitus interruptus. Withdrawal or coitus interruptus. And the third one, lactational amenorrhea. Lactational amenorrhea. So these are the 3 different three different types of natural methods or traditional methods. Which are they? Once again I repeat. First one, periodic abstinence. Second one, withdrawal or coitus interruptus. And the third one, lactational amenorrhea. How to pronounce this? Amenorrhea. So these are the three different methods of natural contraceptive or natural methods or traditional methods. Now let's see one by one. The first one, what is that? Periodic abstinence. Abstain from the process of sex during the fertile period of your menstrual cycle. This is what is called as periodic abstinence. Abstain from the sexual act during the fertile period of your menstrual cycle. So what is that? When we studied about menstrual cycle, we studied that there are 4 different phases. Hope you remember which are the 4 different phases. The first phase, menstrual phase. Second phase is proliferative phase or the follicular phase. Third one, ovulatory phase, and the fourth one is luteal phase. So we have seen that the first day to the 5th day, there is no chance of fertilization, right? Because there will be flow of blood. Second phase, that is follicular phase or proliferative phase. It is from 6th to 13th day. Third phase is the ovulatory phase, that is on the 14th day there will be the release of ovum. And after that it is a luteal phase. So in a 28-day cycle, 10th day to the 17th day, in a 28-day cycle, in a 28-day menstrual cycle, 10th to 17th day is considered as fertile period. And during this period, if the couple abstain from the process of sexual intercourse, then there is no chance of fertilization of sperm and the ovum. Okay, so by following this, by avoiding the sex during 10th to 17th day, we can avoid becoming pregnant. So that is what is called as periodic abstinence. Periodically or at a particular time during a certain period. Which period is that? Fertile period. Abstain from sex. That is called as periodic abstinence. Hope it's clear? Right. Now the second one. What's the second one? Withdrawal or coitus interruptus. From the word itself, the meaning is very clear. Withdraw. What we have to withdraw? Withdraw the penis from the vagina before insemination or ejaculation. Before ejaculation, so that the sperms will not be released into the female reproductive tract. Hope it's clear? Withdrawing the penis from the vagina before ejaculation. That is called as withdrawal or coitus interruptus. The word gives you the meaning. Interrupt the process of mating or coitus. Interrupt the process of coitus or mating. That is called as coitus interruptus. That is the second method. And the third one, lactational amenorrhea. Usually, immediately after the process of delivery, there will be, during the time of intense lactation, the mother will be feeding the baby. So the first 6 months, there will be lot of hormonal changes in the body, and during that period, that is during the intense lactational period, during that time, normally menstrual cycle will not be there or ovulation will not be there. So chances of fertilization is very less. Okay, so these are the 3 natural methods or traditional methods. Hope it's clear. So which are the 3 natural methods or traditional methods? First one, periodic abstinence. Second one, withdrawal or coitus interruptus. Third one, lactational amenorrhea. Okay, so I hope you understood the first method, that is the natural method or the traditional method. Now the second method, what was the second method? Hope you remember. What was the second method? Second method is barrier method. Barrier method. Now from the word itself, it's very clear. What are barriers? Hope you know what are barriers. Barriers are certain obstacles, right? You must have seen whenever there is a strike or rally or procession, the police people keep some obstruction or obstacles or barriers. Now what is the function of that? Preventing the people or the vehicles from moving, right? So the same way, use of certain barriers, using certain obstacles to prevent the ovum and the sperm from meeting, that is called as barrier methods. Okay, now the most common barriers. So here what is the principle behind barrier method? The principle behind barrier method is again prevent physical meeting of ovum and sperm and thereby avoid fertilization. Okay, now the most common barriers which are used are the, you all must have heard about it, are the condoms, right? Condoms are the barriers made of rubber or latex. Barriers are made of rubber or latex which is used. It can be used, condoms can be used either by males or females. The condoms which are used by males are inserted on the penis, and the condoms which are used by females are inserted into the vagina or the cervix. Okay, so two types are there. One is used by males and one is used by females. By using the condoms, we can the sperm and the physical meeting of the sperm and the ovum can be avoided. Now, in females use some other barriers like diaphragms, cervical caps, walls, etc. So these are some other barriers which are, these three are used only by females to cover the cervix or the vagina so that the sperms cannot reach the ovum. Okay, so that is the purpose of covering, that's the purpose of using these barriers. Hope it's clear. So barriers mainly two, that is one is condoms and the other one. Condoms, there are two types of condoms, one which can be used by the males and the other one which can be used by the females. In addition to that, diaphragms, cervical caps and walls are used only by females. Okay, so to increase the efficiency of these contraceptive barriers, sometimes the barriers come with certain spermicidal jellies or foams or creams. Okay, so the condoms or the diaphragms or the cervical caps which are used as barriers will be having a coating of spermicidal jellies or creams or foams. These spermicidal jellies or creams, what it does is it kills the sperms. Its function is to kill the sperm so that the efficiency of the contraceptive or the barrier will be increased. Okay, now let us see what are the advantages of barrier methods. What are the advantages of barrier methods? Barrier methods are disposable. They can be disposed of. That is the first advantage of a barrier. The second one, they can be self-inserted. It can be inserted by the user without any difficulty. Third one, some barriers or some condoms are reusable. Can be used again and again. And the fourth one, they prevent, barriers prevent conception. How? By blocking the entry of the sperms through the cervix. By blocking the entry of sperm through the cervix. So these are the four major advantages of these barrier methods. So you may get a question. Write the advantages of barrier methods. What are the advantages? First one, they are disposable. They can be easily disposed of. Second one, they are self-inserted. They can be inserted by the user. Then third one, some barriers, some types of barriers are reusable. And the last one, they prevent conception by blocking the entry of the sperm through the cervix. Hope it's clear. So hope you understood what we discussed today. So we discussed today about what are contraceptives. What are contraceptives? They are the devices or the methods which are used to prevent pregnancy. Second one, which are the different types of contraceptives. The first one is natural or traditional methods. Second one, barrier methods. Third one, IUDs or intrauterine devices. Fourth one, oral contraceptives. Fifth one, implants. Sixth one, injectables. And the last one, that is surgical methods. Okay, and in that we discussed about two methods. First one, that is a natural or traditional method, and the barrier methods. Under natural methods we discussed about three different types. One is periodic abstinence, second one is withdrawal or coitus interruptus, and the third one, lactational amenorrhea. And in the barrier methods we discussed about condoms, which can be used both by males and females, and only by females it is diaphragm, cervical caps and balls. Hope it's clear. Hope you understood what we discussed today. Okay, thank you.